Greetings everyone. My name is Jadavin and I will be doing my ISU presentation on An Era of Air by Cascayuri. Majorly and most importantly, I'll be focusing on the elements of An Era of Air. Primarily, the exposition. During the initial chapters of An Era of Air, the protagonist Kay celebrates the end of high school with their friends at Durban Beach in South Africa. This leads to the conflict. Acknowledging the fact that racial segregation of public premise was still visible at an all-Indian university, many Indian students wholeheartedly expressed their intolerance for white supremacy, which led to the entering of the riot squad. Hailing bullets, tear gas, and injuring masses outbroke. The second conflict was occurred at the park. Kay was confronted. Do you not see the sign? It is for whites only. Get off now. Get off. Get off. Ahead of this conflict, 3 tall colored teenage girls were being thrown off a park bench by a group of kindergarten children. This showcased how these children did not learn to feel sympathy about humiliating another race group. Later on, when Kay and Pete finished clubbing, 4 policemen came up to the door. The climax emerges as the Immorality Act was involved. It was a strict code of conduct which prevented interracial affairs and marriages. Indeed, this led to the brutal beating of Kay and her white boyfriend, Pete, who became the prey of the 4 policemen. The emotional crowd chanted as they grieved and mourned the loss of their fellow friend and political activist. This scene illustrated the life in South Africa, violent, mean, cruel, and ruthless. Pete's brutal death leads to the following action: his funeral home. The crowd could not believe the antagonistic apartheid government. To resolve the conflict, Kay decided to relocate and escape to Canada, where she found a more comforting environment. Her relocation helped restore the positive energy and to move past the tragedy of the superiority of the white supremacy and the power of the apartheid government. The resolution of this conflict revealed that the theme of spirituality can help change one's mind. Although segregation was impossible to prevent, as shown in this story, having a spiritual mind can help restore the soul of negative atmosphere. After reading An Era of Air, I have analyzed the characters briefly. Kay was the protagonist and the narrator of the story as she was in a relationship with Pete. Pete was a white man who was in love with Kay, who was also brutally beat to death. Her high school friends Cherry, Danny, Rona, and Neil celebrated the end of high school at Durban Beach. In addition, the minor characters included Ali, Iris, Lily, Nellie, Sunny, Mrs. Ali, Calvin, Tanya, and Shireen. Literary devices in An Era of Air. Alliteration. The impromptu interrogation began. Irony is shown through this quotation. I forged ahead, fighting my own toughest anti-alcohol laws. Similarly, racial discrimination harms us like a dagger through our backs. Hyperbole. Groups of intelligent students became irrational as they lost control of reasoning and logical thinking. Allusion. I felt as if I were in The Sound of Music. Pathos. Fabian cried out hysterically as a greenish-yellow mucus streamed down his nostrils. Protagonist. K was a narrator and main character. Antagonist was the apartheid government, of course. Onomatopoeia. Bang, 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 bang. Personification. I knew I had to surrender, meekly in the hands of death. Author Cass Geary brings about the themes love, freedom, discrimination, classism, racism, and spirituality. She illustrates many of these in poems creatively expressing the apartheid system's separation of the people in South Africa. In addition, she uses the literary devices of imagery and a smooth transition of self-discovery to convey spirituality, where she learns that love can be surpassed through many levels of the world beyond. Moreover, the plot evokes the Holocaust aspect of the apartheid regime that bounded many people to change, which limited human potential through noxious living conditions. However, the suspense that not many people are aware of this incident makes a novel more emotional at heart. Thank you.